look at life for the southern people, like a small town, nothing's real. Mama's still doing wrong, don't tell the preacher. Nothing really changes except the weather. If you can't say something nice, you don't say nothing at all. Don't want you up in my life, 'cause you talk too much. I could leave it all, I'm feeling low. Find myself on a brand new road. If you can't say something nice, you don't say nothing at all. Don't want you up in my life, 'cause you talk too much, y'all. Gotta go to church on Sunday, get a dose of the southern truth. Grandma's house is just down the way, and she's missing you.
Okay, and there we are. Dave and the AM, a Southern Fried podcast, election night 2025. Coming on late, it's election late night, I called it. I just got in from the precinct, or election headquarters, actually, just a little while ago. We got out actually a little early, but I was doing a couple things, but I wanted to come on and just talk. Of course, the big news of the night is that New York elected Mandami, and we will see what ramifications that has. It's not my vote, it's their vote. They voted him in, three-way race. It divided the vote. He won. He's making all kinds of remarks. He's made a lot of promises, and many believe he's going to drive the city into bankruptcy. President Trump has said he's not going to give him but what is necessary in funding. We already know there were people leaving the city before. They were selling rental property and getting out. And it is rumored that as much as 800,000 to 1 million people could be leaving the city. And yet he's out here promising all these promises that he's given out to everybody. And then on the political side, making promises to arrest people like Bibi Netanyahu if he comes in the city. I would not think that feds would allow that to happen, but who's to say it? But it's a new day, largest turnout since 1969, I think. People came out, and well, the melting pot has melted over into progressive, into socialism, and I would say a lot of conservative business people, they're going to lose businesses out of this. Businesses will relocate. They will move their headquarters into other states, and you can't blame them. For tax purposes, if nothing else. He's threatened to raise taxes on the corporate side of it and give out all kinds of freebies. I mean, he promised freebies all over the place to just about everybody. And so we'll see. Those are things that we will see in the days ahead. Um, it really, again, seeing those votes split like that is always tough. And who's to say who would have won if it was not a three-way race? I like Silva. He had a lot of support, but not the kind of support he needed. And of course, the Lieutenant Governor of Virginia is now the first Muslim statewide office holder, and so changes are afoot. And this is the front door to 2026, and what will or will not happen, we will see in 2026. So this is the precursor to that. And for us, it was a good election day, steady all day. I talked to officials. I won't say supervisors. I talked to but people that were on the board and are part of the leadership. And it looks like about 15% of voters in my county turned out, which in and of itself doesn't sound like much, but in an off year where there's not uh, governor, senators, presidential, to get 15%, pretty amazing, really. And I would say a lot of that was because of the SPLOST vote that occurred in our area. A lot of teachers turning out, a lot of families connected to teachers, making sure that the one cent sales tax stays in place. Um, so that was there was only the public service commissioners and the SPLOST. So it was a very small ballot. I mean, like three things and you're out. That's if you and longer if you took the time to read that, which a lot of people um, only knew what it was. They didn't take the legalese, and on the ballot it took up half a page. I mean, it was to read it, but to just vote, and it's just a yeah, no, and then the others. And so we're a small precinct in our area. We did pretty good though for what I thought was a small precinct, and they turned out they were steady. Saw uh, a lot of senior voters, but a lot of younger voters too. Now, obviously, I don't know how they're voting and stuff. But we saw a first-time voter last year who came back the second time. A lot of kids being brought out was a great thing. A lot of kids being brought to the election of the precinct to observe, and we love that. And so for us overall, it was a really clean day, no problems. I don't know, I know in New Jersey there were bomb threats and things. And of course, Mamdani is blaming Trump on that. And of course, this is going to be a fight. The fight between the White House and the mayor's office in New York is going to get ugly. It's already ugly, and it's going to get uglier as he once he assumes control. And I'd say there's a lot of people worried about their job tonight because I would suspect he will probably clean house. Um, that happens to a degree anyway, but not as much as maybe this time. A lot more, I would think, that he will clean house, and those are just things that we can watch going forward. I was looking at some local things here for us, uh, and the public service commissioner, and there was some city council, just some very small stuff, but the SPLOST, the 1%. On the East Blast. This is the East Blast, which is why the teachers and all were out. It passed for our area. Now that's just our area, and you may not live here, but it was a lot of people were concerned with it. But it passed with 92%. Well, that's with 1%. See, yeah, 92% of the vote. 92% of the vote. So it was very, very strong. We have the county is a state line county, so it means that Tennessee County is on the other side. A lot of people come into the county to work. A lot of people, it's a growing county. It has been growing in population, but a lot of people come into the county and shop at. We have a Costco right on the border, basically, that's right off the interstate. And I was talking to someone today, and I don't know where they got the information. I'll take them at their word. That is in Georgia. It is the second. The second most producer, big sales of any in Georgia, and they thought that the other one might be around Atlanta, but throughout the whole state, Costco, and it's right there on the border. That it is the second biggest selling Costco in our state. which is really amazing if you think about that in some of the big cities and stuff. But we're right here on the border with Chattanooga, and a lot of people come over. He said they're eventually going to have to build another one just because it was only produced for a certain size of sales volume, and it's almost double that. Not quite, but almost double what it was designed for. That's such a hit. So all that tax dollars coming into the county. I mean, um, people are they weren't talking politics. They made sure to just talk about business. Mention that that they love that kind of sales is going on in our area. So people say things in passing, and but yeah, and so there's you know that going on, and that's pretty much what it was across the state. But again, some bigger news elsewhere on the spectrum. It was good. Like I said, it was a good day to meet people again. I love to work elections. It's been a good thing for me to do. Um, we like I said, we had some odd things that happened, but it was just weird stuff that don't know. We had some hiccups here and there, but it was very minor. And the longer you work, the more you see. But people were very gracious and thanked us a lot for what we do. And we didn't really get any. Every once in a while you get somebody that's a little, let's say, a little radical, a little. We'll just leave that where it is. We didn't see that, and everybody was just really about business, getting in, getting out. And the voters were from they were waiting on us to open the polls, and our last one was right before the polls closed, and so it was spread out through the whole day. There were no lulls, and it was again 15% for our county. And I've seen elections a lot lower than that had more on the ballot than that. So it is encouraging to this point. There's still a lot of people not voting. I mean, you think about it, a lot of people not voting. Um, but and I said it a couple nights ago on a program I did, to see these veterans, and I saw so many today, Marines and others that came in and they are, on walkers and they're on crutches and they're limping, and they could get they could get they could vote at home. They could certainly do that. No, it's important to them. They serve to defend that right to vote, and they come in and it inspires me to see them coming in the door. And one lady told me today that she has never missed a vote since she's been eligible to vote in the county. She has never missed a vote. That's awesome. I think I've not missed any since I was 18, except maybe one. Um, I was a long, long, long time ago, and it was like a runoff, I think, or something. I missed it or something. But honestly, I always vote, and I don't understand it why more people don't vote. It's I really don't get that, and I wonder. And I haven't looked at the numbers in New York. I wonder how many people stayed at home. Now they had record turnout, but that didn't mean that everybody turned out. It just meant that a record uh, for decades, a record that turned out more, and that's good. But how many more just didn't vote? And it baffles me. If you're going to vote, if you're going, and you should, I mean, I think of the people who are not eligible to vote. If you're going to vote, you're eligible to vote, and you're going to vote, you're going to register to vote. Why not vote? And it is so easy to vote nowadays. It really is so easy to get this done. And and even a couple of people today said, "Well, that was easier than I thought it was going to be." And I don't know why people think that it is a hard thing. It's really um, so quick. I remember the days of, and I know people don't like machines, but I remember the days of having to fill out all the paperwork. As you walked in, you sit down and fill all the stuff out, and you go through this checklist and this checklist. Well, it's all right there. We synced we had to sync the poll pads before we started, so it'd have the latest data on eligible voters. And we went, they come in, you look it up, and they either are or they're not. Some people's in the wrong precinct. That happens a lot because a lot of people usually early vote. They forgot, came on election day, they go to the place that they normally vote because there's two locations in our area for early voting, and they go there and they think, why can't I vote? Well, you've got to go to your precinct now. And so we got a lot of that. And we had one show up that was had moved. You get stuff like that, and they was time for them to go across town to their normal, but they had moved over there. They just haven't changed their address yet to the new precinct. So that's little things like that. We help people along, but most people voted. I don't think two were had to go. Maybe three had to go to other places. But everybody that came in the door, or one guy had already voted. He forgot he voted. He thought it was another election. But I heard more than once uh, folks that said, I don't know nothing on. I don't know. I was just told vote, and voter education is certainly something that needs to be driven. But again, you're going to see that. You're going to see that anywhere that you are. People just don't take the time. Now in Georgia, and I will say this, and I will continue to preach it. It is really simple. Is to download, print off the sample ballot. The sample ballot can be taken. I saw one person do that today. The sample ballot can go into the voting booth, and you can use that. You can mark your ballot, your sample ballot. You've got it ready. All you got to do, because you might forget something. There might be something you're not as familiar with. You go down the list, you vote, and you cast your ballot. And I don't know why more people don't take advantage of that. And people need to do a better job of studying who's going to be on the election or what the questions are, or anything before an election. Me too. All that can be found on the Secretary of State's website. You just pull it, put your credentials in, pull up your county, and voila, there you are. Then you can do research through all sorts of research. Ballotpedia. There's all kinds of ones that you can do for some of these offices statewide, and especially that because they not only do the national, they do a lot. They do the state level, and there's a couple of major vote. Well, actually, two or three. I know there's two for sure, but there's others, but they're not as big maybe. But there's two that are pretty large, and they do a lot of legwork for you. They give you all the information. They show you, are they all the way from very liberal to very conservative, where they fall within that, what their donations are, what money they've given to other candidates, who has recommended them. There's questionnaires if they take the time to fill it out. All that can be found in these voter uh, guides. Ballotpedia is one, but there's another one that I think that I know the name of the organization has recently merged with them within the last few years, and God, it's just I'm thinking of the acronym. I can't think of it, but their ballot. I'm more familiar with than Ballotpedia. I've looked at both, but this voter guide is very in depth. It's all digital. You can pull it up and you can do all your research, and they have links to their social medias and things like that if they have any. But going into 2026, we got to have we got to have people educated. What happened in New York is a phenomenon, probably for a lot of reasons. The horrible leadership they've had there for some time. Uh, the changing dynamics of the city. This guy promising everything in the world to people that want to hear it. There is a huge anti-Jewish movement. Always has been. It's bigger now in our country. It's growing. Anti-Semitism's on the rise, and he speaks against. He speaks against people, and he speaks against things, and he's taking the side that a lot of people want to take the side of, and like I said, he's going to give all this money away and tax corporate. Says all the things like we're going to give you money and we're going to tax the rich. That's been the Democrat platform for some time, among other things. But it's give you more, and then tax the rich, as they call it, which they're usually the rich too. So it always cracks me up that they say we're going to tax the rich. Well, you're the rich. I mean, are you looking in the mirror? I mean, some of these people. I mean, it was like Bloomberg or whatever it was. Remember him? 100, billionaire, and he's talking about tax the rich. Okay, buddy, turn around and sign the check. You're the rich, but it's double speak, you know. But anyway, I don't live there. I think it does have ramifications because New York is such a big area, big city. It drives a lot of commerce and business and politics and a lot of things. And this is a big deal. I think it does affect the country. Um, a lot of the country is teetering on the edge of falling into this trap of voting for socialist policies and promises that the communists, communist, socialists, whatever you want to say, are making. Uh, and they're just there's already great debt. Where they're going to get the money? They say we're going to tax people, and that's where we'll get it. But we'll see. That's the thing. We will see what that will be in the time to come. And so, there's I just think, I mean, it's not a good thing when you have the White House in this war, and he's president saying, why are you voting for this guy? We have New Yorkers saying they're going to flee. Governor Abbott says he threatens 100% tariff on New Yorkers escaping Mandami. Um, he says he will impose, after the pose, he will impose a 100% tariff on anyone moving to Texas from New York City. He did not elaborate on why he would penalize new residents of his state or how he would impose such a tariff. Mandami's policies, this is from Newsmax, have long sparked fears of citywide exodus, with 7% of those earning more than $250,000 a year saying in a new poll that they would definitely leave the city if he wins. Well, he's won. That figure is particularly significant because the top 1% of earners in New York pay approximately half of the city's income taxes. A Daily Mail poll found if Mandami wins, nearly 800,000 New York City residents, about 9%, said, think about that, almost 10% of the people living in your city say they were planning to flee, with an additional 25% saying they would consider leaving if the Democrat nominee clinches the race, and now he has. If that number to leave, it would be equivalent to the entire population of Washington, D.C., Las Vegas, or Seattle. On Monday, President Trump gave a last-minute endorsement of the race, throwing his support behind former Governor Andrew Cuomo, which in of itself, I mean, how horrible was he? But, the other guy's so bad. And of course, it really makes me mad that they didn't give Silva a chance. He said, whether you personally like Andrew Cuomo or not, you really have no choice. Trump, well, there was a choice, Silva. But, they just totally left him. Nobody would even talk about this guy. He wrote on Truth Social platform, you must vote for him and hope he does a fantastic job. He is capable of it. Mandami is not. Well, that's over because Mandami has won. He also threatened to withhold federal funds from the city if Mandami wins Tuesday's election. If communist candidate Zohran Mandami wins the election for mayor of New York City, it is highly unlikely that I will be contributing federal funds other than the very minimum as required to my beloved first home because of the fact that as a communist, this once great city has zero, capital letters, zero chances of success or even survival. It can only get worse with the communists at the helm. I don't want to send as president good money after bad. It is my obligation to run the nation. It is my strong conviction that New York City be a complete and total economic and social disaster, will be, should Mandami win, he continued. I would much rather see a Democrat who has a record of success win than a communist with no experience and a record of complete and total failure. And here we are. This is one of those situations where, and some people said that the president's endorsement of Cuomo swung the race to him, but I don't really believe that. I think there was already, his numbers were, when Eric Adams removed himself, he gained, Cuomo gained a nice bump, but he was still 10 points down. I mean, again, polls can be manipulated, but his numbers were so far ahead. But even if you took Silva out, even if you gave, if the president stayed out of it, his numbers, Cuomo was never going to win this. Never. I mean, it was a bad, I think Eric Adams, as bad as he was. I mean, it wasn't great. He had a better chance of success probably than Andrew Cuomo. And he's just damaged goods. And it's really hard to get excited about being behind something like that. And a lot of people probably voted for him because they don't like Mandami and they're afraid of what would happen there. Prayers also to the UPS plane went down. Massive fire. Massive fire. Horrible to hear something like that happen. Caroline Leavitt had blasted Mandami before the election because of his election day remarks. And he, again, when the bomb threats came in, he said that President Donald Trump is to blame for bomb threats and voter intimidation at polling sites where completely irresponsible, according to White House Secretary Caroline Leavitt. She told reporters at the White House press conference, quote, "I saw those comments from Mandami," Leavitt said, "and her statement appearing live on Newsmax Newsline. They are based on zero evidence." It's real again. This is a striking um, and really an indicator of where we're at. This is not a little thing. Again, it is truly amazing what times we live in that this guy. There are places in America where I mean, we already have seen this. These kind of candidates win in other areas, mayors, senators, whatever, and cities rule because of the concentration of people. And I don't blame people for feeling disenfranchised because of what this guy has said. And it's like right now, it's a get Trump anything or get whoever and put people in office to oppose the president. And we'll get what you get. He has said, among other things, he has promised fare-free buses. Well, they cost money to run. Where are you going to get the money if all these people leave your city? Universal child care. I can tell you the numbers on that are atrocious. I know companies that are trying to work out some child care issues right now. It's not in their budget. They've tried. It just doesn't fit the business model because of struggles in economics, of sales and tariffs and everything that they have to deal with. They just don't have it. And he's going to make this universal. Um, a city-run grocery store in each borough, a $30 minimum wage by 2030, and new taxes on corporations and high earners. Where's the money going? I mean, yeah, he thinks he's going to tax corporations. What if they leave? As much as corporations put the office in New York at one time, and they've moved out of other places around the world, so that's all for tax liabilities and tax costs that they do that. Their main manufacturing, but anywhere because of the laws of our country, they can put the headquarters there, call it the headquarters. It could be an office. That's all it's got to be. Imagine now these same people who went there for these tax benefits versus other places will now be being threatened with higher taxes and quite a significant amount. Um, there was a poll conducted by JL Partners for the Daily Mail, and that's where they got the number that this many would leave. That 9% would definitely leave. That population is 8.5 million. 8.5 million in New York City, and then the whole Jewish part. You know, um, and the media are going to just be in awe of this guy. They're going to fall at his feet and worship him like a god. They were already doing that, but I don't know. I just don't know. It's one of those you just don't know. What could it mean for them? What would it might not mean? Um, would it be that bad? Is he talking? Uh, is he just talking out of his rear end just to? And when he gets in there, he realizes, oh, this. I mean, Obama did the same thing, right? He promised a lot of things. We got in there, he realized, and he did a lot, but in some cases, he realized this ain't going to work. He just said it to get in there. Let's face it. He knew it wasn't going to work before he did. This guy, though, could care less because he doesn't like the country anyway. It's obvious because of the things he's trying to do to it are detrimental to the safety and security and economics of New York and the United States at greater proper. And he just comes right out. He didn't worry. He didn't worry about losing votes. He said things straight out. Straight out. He didn't mince words. He didn't try to uh, frame it in a way, paint a picture for it a different way to soften the blow. No, he just said it straight out. He knew that he had the votes. He knew that he had the backing to win this thing. And he's riding a high wave, and he rode right in. So I don't know. We'll see on that. again, a lot of these things we'll talk about in the days to come. I did want to come on and talk about it some because of uh, the local being a part of it, and I'm honored to be a part of it. And that's what I told several voters today when they thanked me for my service for what we do. I said it is my honor to be here, and it is a long day. I started out at 5 o'clock this morning. Was at the precinct by 6, and left to go to election headquarters a little about 8:30. Yeah, about 8:30. Got down there, checked everything in. We officially clocked it out at 9:15 p.m. So 15-hour day. Not counting a little bit before that. Really over 16 hours that I've been moving, and we'll be on in the morning. So I'm not going to stay on long. And I hadn't been home long, but I want to come on. There'll be some results I want to talk about in the next. Not tomorrow. It's not tomorrow yet, but it will be. I want to talk about some of those and around the country. Um, and there's Jay Jones is projected to win the Virginia Attorney General race. Um, Now, I do want to mention this. Silva said that he wished he wished him the best. They're reporting, but he had promised him that he would be his worst nightmare if socialism is implemented. So, he did offer an emotional concession speech. This is from MSN. He did offer emotional concession speech to supporters Tuesday night, stressing that the movement he built on the backs of the guardian angels, focusing on creating a safer New York, will not be erased. He also said his candidacy was proof that voters could not be bought or bullied by the establishment, as he was pressured to drop out of the race to clear the field for independent Andrew Cuomo. This has always been us versus them. From the time I declared my candidacy, the masters of the universe, the billionaires, decided that I should not have the right to represent all of you, to be the voice of the voiceless, the working class people who the backbone of this city, said Sloa. You can't buy us, rent us. We're not for sale. We are the people. Now, for good luck, to Zoran Mandemi, who won, but he warned that if Mandemi tries to implement socialism or weaken police, Silva and his coalition will become the Mandemi administration's "quote unquote" worst nightmare. Um, so we'll see. We'll see. Lots to digest, lots to go on after any election, that being the biggest, but there's some other races around the country. And what effect do some of these races, do they or do they not have on 2026? Could it be possibly or not? Another I want to touch on really quick is down here in the 14th district of Georgia, um, MTG went on The View, which you would think that'd be lightning bolts. But they actually come away impressed, and said that they expect her to be much different. She has softened some things here of late, and has distanced herself from some things that people are upset with her about. But it seems to me she's positioning herself, while continuing to be very strong and win elections in the 14 districts of Georgia. Is that she's looking to maybe work with some on some other issues. She seems open to that, which is a change. So politicians politic. Politicians position themselves. And I think she is positioning herself. She's definitely taking a road that is not entirely the MAGA road. And she has distanced herself somewhat from some things while still claiming others. And she is reinventing herself, I would say, a little bit. She would probably say that she hasn't changed anything, but it's pretty obvious that she has softened on some things, become more agreeable to other things, while still holding on to core beliefs. It looks as though she has really changed uh, that part of her. And I will be looking forward to her next town halls that she will have undoubtedly in the new year, and we will try to report from there. We'll go to one, and who knows, we might even get it live. I don't know, but we will see. But I just want to come on for a few minutes. I'll be on the morning with Rob. Hopefully he'll feel better. He's had a rough day. Y'all pray for him. SFP morning show live on your Wednesday, hump day, and tomorrow night we'll have our hump day views and the Southern fried vent, Southern fried vent. I really like that. And there's going to be stuff to vent about a lot tomorrow, a lot. And other program today I didn't get to do anything because of the elections. I was gone all day. So there's some shows that I've got to do. Also, tomorrow night, racing, sports, before Hump Day Views. And we have a champion now in NASCAR, Kyle Larson. We'll talk about that Wednesday night at around 5:30. We'll kick that off and talk about uh, that race and 2026 and looking forward, and some sports. A lot of college football, NFL, some trades, a trade deadline, a lot of trades. We'll look at some of that. The Titans made some trades, and Baltimore made really tried to strengthen up on some stuff that they needed, positioning themselves to get back in the playoffs because they've not started off great. And then teams that are like the Jets and the Titans trying to get draft picks to help reinvent themselves and rebuild themselves from that. Um, there is breaking news on Fox that Prop 50 is going to pass in I guess that was Minnesota, wasn't it? So that just broke over the wire. Yeah, oh, excuse me, California, Prop 50, it passed. I don't know why I said Prop 50. So there's a lot of there's still some some races that are coming down the wire. Some of the results are coming in. Mike Sherrill projected to win New Jersey's governor race. Of course, I saw that on the way home, defeating the Republican. He's a Democrat, and he is projected to win there. Um, Trump reacts to the Democratic, um, some of the Democratic moves, races that were lost, and he blames it on the government shutdown. So Fox News has called, obviously, New York City for Mandami, Virginia for Sponberger, and we'll continue to get results in late into the night as Western areas come into the fold. And so we'll see. Yeah, Prop 50 passed um, in California. So we'll see. A lot to settle here. A lot to settle. A lot of redistricting. A lot of things to talk about with that. But this really, everything else is going to um, it's going to overshadow everything else. New York City. That is going to be the news. It's going to be the story. It is going to be the story across the world. It's going to be the story in New York. It's going to all the nationals are going to look at it, and that will be the story as we move forward about this victory, and that will overshadow anything else that's going on. Maybe a couple things will catch fire because they're going to cover this one in Virginia. They're going to talk about New Jersey going to the Democrats. So those stories will be out there, but Mandami is the story, and that will overshadow anything else that's going on in this. And it is the precursor to 2026. And there's going to be a lot of money spent and a lot of people, a lot of things being said. And who knows, 2026, maybe because of this happening, that is going to energize the electorate in a lot of ways across the country. They were already energized. I think they're going to become more energized. And this right here is like it's like the first shots across the bow. And it is a big one. And it's going to have ramifications going forward for New York City and for the rest of the country. So we'll see. We have a political war going on. Of course, there's a little time before he takes or is sworn in, and we'll see how many people flee New York and what kind of things that happens for the economics and economy of New York City. Anyway, I'm Dave in the AM. We're going to get off and go to bed. I'm tired and doing late night. We might start doing a late night show. I like doing late night. We don't have as many people, but there's people that stay up and they like to come to late night. We'll talk about different things. But anyway, we will see you in the morning on the morning show. I'm going to get in the bed, so I feel like making that show. It has been, like I said, a very, very long day. We appreciate you for supporting the Southern Fried podcast, not contest, podcast, and all the shows that you support us on in our our affiliates and our coffees. And we're going to be showing much more about the coffee soon, and shows and some that are still coming online, shows that we're still trying to find, definite places for them. And I pray for our health and pray for our family's health. We've had a lot going on for me, my wife, and a little bit myself. But you take care. Have a great night. God bless America. That's what I'll say. God bless America. And America's been hit in a lot of ways over its course of its history. America will survive Mandami. I promise you that. Good always comes to the top. And this is a short term. I think it's bad, but that's what the people wanted. They voted him in. The ones who went to vote, they vote him. You get what you get, and I hate that because but they think that's great. Tells a lot about the city. We'll see how great they think it is when things aren't going great for them. We'll see if they think they're going to get a free ride. A free ride is on the way. Well, this guy will figure it out. There's not enough funds to do the free ride, and he may not have as much money to work with as he thought he would. And how's he going to do it? Is he going to pull it out? Is he going to pull foreign money in? We got to watch this guy. We got to watch what he's doing, because there would definitely be those around the world that will want to use this as a launching point to see a lot of things spread and rise across America. So that's going to be a great story. It's going to be a massive story. And for us podcasters, it's great. We'll definitely have things to talk about. And so, as we get into Southern Fried Vent and Hump Day Views, this is definitely going to be something that we will talk about. I think we should. And at the same time, though, not losing hope in the greatness of our God and the greatness of America. Don't ever forget that. You know what? We've taken the hits before. We've survived them. We roll on. And Jesus is still on the throne. And our flag is still flying. And there may be some hiccups along the way. There usually is. But freedom is worth fighting for. Freedom is worth, agonizing over. Freedom is worth being patient for. And freedom is knowing how to call it out the way you see it. But freedom is what we have. We're still the greatest country on the face of the planet. And we're not going to let some guy come into New York, no matter if he got elected or not, and destroy maybe one of the top 3 cities in the whole of the world. All the things that goes on the Big Apple. We're not going to allow that. Short-term loss. But long-term, the cream will rise to the top, and America exceptionalism will shine through. And I think this will actually energize more the voting electorate, and they will get out and vote in mass, and they will oppose this guy. And there's a lot of people support him. Obviously, he got elected. But this could spur a lot of things across the country for 2026. But anyway, that's my take. God bless you. Have a great night. We'll go out with a little music. And my voice is kind of going. I've been talking all day. You talk to voter after voter after voter, and you just end up talking a lot. And not the best place. I don't care for sometimes the air is not great where we're at, but it was okay. I've had a great day. God bless you. Good night. We'll go out with some music.